I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is just his continued faithfulness. I mean, when we uprooted 18 months ago and left, Ella was 4 months old, I think. 5 months old. And we left everything that we had known in our marriage, that our kids had known, everything that I had known, the same counties I'd grown up in. And so I think just in that you get stretched and you learn, you start to see the holes maybe that were in your marriage and in your parenting and even your faith. And so God stretched us to that, but just his continued faithfulness in that in the last 18 months to meet us in our marriage, to meet us in our parenting, to bring friendships and relationships, to bring a connection group, to bring people around us. And so I would say in relationships, and then that's just on a personal level. And so that would be where I've seen, and then just how he's grown us in our trust in him. And answering prayer. I mean, there's things that we would have missed out on had we not moved, and seeing God answer certain prayers, and that's been a huge blessing.
Welcome to Keystone Conversations, our podcast on the topics and issues important to the Keystone family. Our hope is to give you insight, wisdom, and resources as you press on to know and follow Jesus. I'm Randy Woodbury, executive pastor here at Keystone, and with me is our lead pastor, Brent Minter.
Hello, good sir.
And our special guest, the guest of the hour, the guest of honor, head of the table, Matt Mabry, lead pastor of Anthem Hill Church.
That is
in
a fact.
Bowling Green.
That's right. It's an honor and a privilege.
Man, it's good to have you here. But honestly, it's not super fun because we're at the season of everything that we do with you is coming to that last time moment.
Yes, it's kind of that like bittersweet is where we're kind of at.
Yeah.
This is the essence of what already and not yet. We talk about that a lot in theology, but if you've ever moved, it's a legit part of the moving process. It's, I want to be there, but I'm here, but I'm not there, but I'm here, and I miss everything, and that's just a wild ride.
Yeah, I've already packed my house 7 times in my head, but I can't do anything about it yet.
And it still won't fit in whatever you rented, because it just never does the first time.
Incredible.
So, Matt, it's great today as we come together. For Keystone, the Keystone family, this is now our 3rd plant. And so there's the different ways we feel and have done it. It's unique every time for you. It's your first plant. You're the one that's had to suffer, and I mean that in a kind way, the most change of anyone. And so we're going to have some fun today, and there's going to be some seriousness. But Brent and I thought, we're going to start out with some fun questions first. Yeah. We want you to laugh a little bit.
Okay, sounds great. I like to laugh.
So being from Texas, there seems to be a rich vein of opportunity here. So we're going to lean into that a little bit. Now, Brent's from Oklahoma, and we'll have a separate podcast about our southern representation on our
I
staff.
lived in Texas 12 years.
Right, but which would you claim as your home? Okay.
I was born and raised in Oklahoma.
There you go.
But my children were born and raised in Texas.
But I think, isn't there a committee in Texas to allow you to claim Texas as your home?
There's probably some paperwork involved. Yeah, absolutely.
Or money. One of the two. So let's start with this. Let's start a fun one because most of the people here are from Iowa. What was the biggest misconception you personally had of Iowa?
Okay, well,
this is supposed to be legit. Don't try to censor it. It's your time to shine.
Okay, my wife would tell me to be nice. So
yes, she would. That's because your wife is one of the nicest people on planet Earth.
That's right, she is. Okay, so when we flew here and flew home, I was showing somebody hey, yeah, we went to Iowa. I'll show them on the map where Iowa was. I was wrong about where it was.
Oh, how wrong? Be a little more specific.
When you hear Midwest, I think West, to kind of leave the mid part out.
We're talking Wyoming wrong?
Yeah, maybe even Idaho wrong. Not like I got them confused, but I just kind of thought that's how far west it was.
Wow.
Yeah. That's because in Texas, you just know where
Nothing
Texas
exists.
is. Yeah. I think a misconception would be it's the Midwest, so it's was it bland? Is it boring? It's kind of gray and just gloomy all the time. But then we got here and we visited in the summer, so that was really nice.
Yep.
And then everyone prepared, warned us about the winter. So, I was prepared for the worst thing ever when January and February came around. And just to be completely honest, I found them somewhat pleasant.
Pleasant?
Yeah, I think I had built up in my mind, how horrible the winter was going to be up here. And I don't mind the snow.
No, I'm going to have to do point of order on this because I do remember some emails and Slack channels.
Oh,
about a
My
snowblower.
back hurts.
Okay, let me.
And some snow removal that may have not support your case here.
Okay, so maybe I should backtrack a little bit.
My friend from Texas moved to Iowa and was begging for a snowblower.
Absolutely, I was. And so that part, I tip my cap to the Midwesterner who has never gone out and bought a snowblower.
Ooh.
That I'm impressed. You and your Carhartt beanie and coat. I am thoroughly impressed by that.
For the record, the last 2 winters have not been outrageous.
And I've heard
2
that-
years ago, that was the only time it was crazy was over prepare when it shut.
Yeah.
But outside of that, it was a really mild winter. This winter, we
This
got
one
a
was
little
very
snow.
mild. This one
It's
seemed-
mild, but and I'll shout out our youth program. It only happens on Wednesdays.
Yeah, they
Right.
got hammered.
Now,
this
I mean,
year.
to say that I've lived through and experienced the negative 40 wind chill, I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
Like to
become-
say that my nose hairs have frozen, like I'm proud of that.
You become more American. I mean, you can a true citizen, not just a citizen of the Republic of Texas.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I've shoveled snow. Before now, I had only shoveled manure. So this was.
Now let's talk about Texas.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for equal rights, we have to say, what was Iowans' biggest misconception of Texas or Texans?
Yeah, I think first off, when I've asked Iowans, like, where have you been to Texas? Like when they know I'm from Texas, oh, I've been to Texas. Well, where? The most common answers are Austin or Houston. And so I feel like that was kind of like, that's Texas. And I had to quickly justify that is not my Texas. Those 2 cities do not represent the entire state. So please just understand
And
that.
they might be the biggest anomalies in the state.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And so I think that would be the first misconception is like, that's not Texas. Secondly, we're not all rednecks and carry guns around, but I might not be the best representation of that. I might fit that.
Define
misconception.
all. I mean, we're talking, it's not 100%, but it's 99.5.
No, see, there you go. There's that.
I'm just
there
asking.
it is.
Asking for a friend. I've driven to Dallas before. I'm scared to death. I will not.
Are you serious?
I will not look left. I'll not. You can own me.
Oh, Dallas
I will
is
not get upset.
Yuppieville.
Yeah.
I will
Dallas
not get
is
upset at
Yuppieville.
anybody that cuts me off, which happens often.
It does in Texas.
Rides
yeah.
my tail happens often.
Yeah, it does.
Because I think they're going to end it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Texas could be split into like multiple cultures.
Yes.
East Texas, Houston, South Texas near the valley, West Texas.
Hill Country, Texas.
Yeah, Hill Country. It's vast. And not only vast culturally, it's vast geographically.
Yeah.
So Keystone Conversations is sponsored by the Tourism Board of Texas.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. And yes, we would absolutely take that, buddy.
Yeah.
Not kidding. Let's have one more fun one. Let's think through your time as in the church planner process.
Okay.
Give us your biggest upside surprise, especially your time here at Keystone, your time with Brent. What was the most surprising thing to the upside as you embarked at your 24 months of getting ready to go out?
Upside surprise. Okay, I would say I got a couple. Can I share more than one?
Absolutely.
I think one, I have thoroughly enjoyed being in the room with the elders of Keystone. That's been I think an opportunity for me to develop and mature and to see what that looks like. And so that's been super encouraging and a good surprise for me. I think another one would just be the support that has been given at a staff level for the church plant, whether it be announced from the stage or in meeting with Brent, but even like the meetings to come that I have with, whether they know it or not, they're coming, like with Todd about connection groups and care, with Matt about teaching schedule, with Aaron about family ministry and kids ministry. And so all those different things, just having the resources and the knowledge and wisdom, that's a huge blessing.
So Brent, from your standpoint, and this is now your third time,
Yeah.
what was unique about Matt's process, or what have you seen from the first time, which was all new?
Yep.
And every one of them is a little bit new because it's a new context, new location, but you've done it before. What was some highlights for you?
I mean, the first is at a macro. This is I often apologize to Austin because the first time we planted a church, we didn't know what we were doing. We're like, our thing we'd say is like, we're planting a church. And then like, what do we do? I'm not sure, but we're doing it. And now it feels like there's more well-worn paths. There's more resources. There's a little bit more structure, a little bit more. I know the questions to ask. I mean, a part of my responsibility is to not give Matt answers, but to help him think through problems. And I don't know if he feels that, but I try not to write him. I try to be available, but my job is to help him do it. And so I think I'm probably better at asking questions at that. But I think that Matt it's really fun to watch our planters come in, and they go through this unique phase of most of them are coming out of running big ministries or high, and they're like running and gunning, and I'm like, slow down. You don't know what you don't know, and there's always this disorientation for them. They're like, I'm not doing anything, and then all of a sudden, by the time they're done, they're like, good Lord, I'm overwhelmed. Yeah. And I feel like Matt has walked through each of those seasons with incredible grace. And to watch him grow from like, oh, we got to hire people, and that's a stressful. Now it's like he knows what to do. It's not that his instincts were all right, but how to go about that. Like, it's just it's so fun to watch him go from, now what am I supposed to be doing with that? And now he's almost mastered some of those things. And that's what's super fun to watch.
And man, it's been, I'm sure Brent would say this as well. You have been a pure joy for our staff team. You will be dearly missed, and you've such an additive part of it. And we'll maybe leave some other, flowery stuff till later. But I'd be remiss if I didn't at least mention that as well. But as we go into kind of you reflect on this time, and now think back the last 18 months, and think about your own spiritual walk. What are some of the things God has shown you through this process, through your family? Maybe Rachel's been saying, just what has God shown you through this process?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is just his continued faithfulness. I mean, when we uprooted 18 months ago and left, Ella was 4 months old, I think. 5 months old. And we left everything that we had known in our marriage, that our kids had known, everything that I'd known in the same county as I'd grown up in. And so I think just in that you get stretched and you learn, you start to see the holes maybe that were in your marriage and in your parenting and even your faith. And so God stretched us to that, but just his continued faithfulness in that, in the last 18 months, to meet us in our marriage, to meet us in our parenting, to bring friendships and relationships, to bring a connection group, to bring people around us. And so I would say in relationships, and then that's just on a personal level. And so that would be where I've seen, and then just how he's grown us in our trust in him, and answering prayer. I mean, there's things that we would have missed out on had we not moved, and seeing God answer certain prayers, and that's been a huge blessing and fun to get to be part of.
That reminded me, as you're speaking of the concept of misconceptions, and Brent, as you think of our people, and they see our plants, they see part of it, but I think sometimes we don't give enough credit to the fact of, there's steps, there's process, there's playbooks, that's all there.
Yeah.
But the personal side of it, the spiritual side of it, things that are tested is, we don't see that as readily as, say, hey, the church names come in, or who's going and who's staying.
Yeah.
But the personal side, the spiritual side is such a huge part.
I mean, I think that's what's fun to see the upfront view of. And, I'm thinking of like, okay, where are we going to plant a church? Like there's like 350 places that's humanly possible. And what are we going to do? How are we going to, and watching like Matt in the best possible way go, what am I supposed to do? Because the burden on him is, I have to lead my family, I have to follow the Lord, and I have to go to a place that, like, watching him sift through that. I mean, that was months. I mean, that was thousands of miles on a vehicle. That's, I mean, poor Ella had to go with you. Like, Ella was such a baby, and you and Rachel are going all over the place. And it's not simple questions. It's like, you can't be responsible, but the concept is, where are you willing to place your life? And where are you going to build some roots and change a community? And those are big questions. How are we going to, where do we hire our next SALT director? That's a really big question. That's not insignificant. And so I think watching him walk through all that, I get to see him wrestle and mature with the Lord. And I think my favorite part is sitting in my seat. I've now seen it happen. And so God's going to be faithful through the process. But for Matt walking through, that's like, God, are you ever going to answer these prayers? And knowing that he will, but that's part of the maturity of him walking in to lead a church, and hopefully some of the space we can give him over a 2-year residence.
Matt, maybe some of the Keystone family might not be as up to date. Just give us 2 or 3 bullet points. Why Bowling Green first?
Yeah, Bowling Green. I would say number 1, Western Kentucky University is there. Go Tops. So it's a Division I university.
One of the top 5 mascots in all of
That's right.
NCAA.
We love Big Red, man.
I love it.
Yep. And so that's the primary reason the campus is there and needs gospel impact. Bowling Green itself is the fastest growing city in the state of Kentucky, 80,000 people there, and it's growing rapidly, hour north of Nashville. And then it's a federal refugee city, so lots of nations represented in that city as it's growing. So those were key reasons why we chose that spot. There's a aspect of people who they know God, but they don't have a relationship with Jesus. And so it's that cultural Christianity where there's still lostness, but there's a little bit of understanding that we can work with. And that's my context, right? That's what I did for a decade before I moved here.
Let's break some news. What was a city on the list that didn't make it? That would have surprised people.
The other one that we were leaning pretty heavy into was San Marcos, Texas, which is like 30 minutes south of Austin.
Texas State.
Yeah. So that one may have been a surprise to people.
And then Anchorage. That was a...
What was it? Oh, what was it before Texas State? It just changed like the last 10, 20 years. Same Houston? No.
No, it was called Southwest.
Southwest Texas.
I think, yeah, Southwest Texas.
Yeah. One of those teams everyone plays in the first 5 games of basketball.
Right, yeah. So I think that was probably the other one that was at the top of the list as we were looking.
So now as you settled on Anthem Hill as your name, there's always a great amount of time, for a good reason, of why. But just as you think of Anthem Hill, why that stood out to you?
Yeah, what I've been telling people, Hill, that's a nod to the campus, to the topography, right? Calvary, the Hill of Calvary is where, it all began. So those are that I liked Hill. I kind of knew going in that we wanted to try to put that in the name. And then Anthem, the word anthem is a rallying cry, a chorus that people gather together under and rally together under. And so Jesus is our anthem. We gather under his name every week. And we want to take his name to the campus and the community, the nations. So I thought Anthem had a sense of movement to it. I want to be a church on the move. I like that idea. So that's how we got there.
And it's just a good name.
And
it's a sweet name.
I think it rings pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're not being recorded, but it's been my favorite name so far of the 3.
Except for being recorded. In fact, if you're not watching the video of this, me and Randy are both wearing our Anthem Hill hoodies, matching to represent for our dude.
I think it's partly because it's 2 words. It's better for me because usually I slur words and sometimes have trouble with English language. So, having 2 words gives me twice as many shots to get it right. So I'm pretty happy with that.
Glad I could help.
As you look forward to it, now start thinking about, new city, new context, new church. What are just, when you wake up and you're just pure excited, the things you don't even have to convince yourself that you're looking forward to, what are some of those things?
Several things, Randy. Several things. One, I can't help but thinking about, this may be way too out there, but like getting to baptize people in Anthem Hill on a Sunday. Like that fires me up. Getting to see people step in a new life with Jesus. That's why we're doing this. And so that's something I think about regularly. And we already are praying for people that we've met that we hope they come and will be a part and experience Jesus. I think I just kind of think about the places that we already know, downtown, being on campus, the parks and things, the neighborhoods that we'll be living in. Just think about those people that we'll get to interact with, but also the friends that we already have there. They're going to be a part of Anthem Hill. That excites me, just get to start hanging out in each other's homes and building relationships there, and seeing how God's already using them to influence those around them.
Nice. And Brett, you were one of the first ones, you or Pastor Todd, where we'd be sitting in contexts like this and you're saying, hey, you know what? There's someone graduating in the next 2 weeks that's going to walk onto campus this fall and is going to know about Anthem Hill and is going to come to know Christ because of that already. Yeah. And I know that's something that excites you too.
I think that, that's what's true. And having experienced that, my perspective is I remember praying. Maybe I heard that. I just remember in a service praying when we announced Michigan State. Because I don't remember the time, but I think it was a junior. Mm-hmm. It was a junior in the second semester that would be a freshman. And we prayed, God, there's a junior somewhere in Michigan who does not know you. He's going to come on campus and find Christ. And I think that a unique grace that God has given our churches in the SALT Network is we have a passion and are committed to hitting the campus with the gospel. And so, some water, some sow, some water, and some get the increase. But what we've seen is semester in, semester out, we see college students come to faith. Mm-hmm. And so I'm pretty confident that that's going to happen. And what a joy, man, to think, there's a guy who knows what he's doing his senior year, but he's going to come to know Christ at Anthem Hill. Unbelievable.
So good, and we celebrate with that. Matt, as you think through again, as our people can help support that, obviously, still go.
Yeah.
There's room.
Oh, there's room.
Can I ask a question before we switch? Like, what are you excited for, not spiritually? Like, you're moving your family to a community. So what's something about the community you're just like, oh, I'm excited about that?
Okay, so several things. The food. Oh, man, the food in Bowling Green is great. That's a very unspiritual and spiritual thing, right?
Yeah.
There's a minor league baseball team downtown. So me and Lincoln can get our baseball fix.
There's a minor league baseball team here.
Yeah, but I have to go to Des Moines. That's like 35 minutes. This is
Wow.
like in the middle of Bowling Green.
That is a long drive.
To commute, okay.
What's the name?
Hot Rods.
Oh, that's kind of
Bowling
cool.
Green Hot Rods?
Yeah.
Double
Hot
A
Rods.
with who?
The Rays, Tampa Bay Rays. Because the only place in the world Corvettes are built, so they named their minor league team
The Hot Rods.
the Hot Rods. Yeah.
And I think we'd be remiss to say, because I know Matt is one of the biggest baseball fans
Yeah.
we probably know.
Yeah.
And
I-
pure love.
Go
Yes.
Rangers.
I'm going to be honest. I love the Rangers, but I fell off the bandwagon after being here for 8 years. Like, I'm on the bandwagon, and when we go to the World Series, we watched all the games. But he is a pure fan.
Thank you.
Amen.
I'll take that. May be the best compliment I've gotten today.
A pure fan. We've been to the same World Series game. Do you know
We were
this?
there together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
And then Mammoth Caves is there. We like to go, take our kids, go hike, check out the caves. Nashville, the music scene. I've already got concert tickets for the fall in Nashville.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Who do you have?
Ben Rector. Nice. Yeah. Last
I'm
tour
going in Kansas City.
for that one.
Going to Kansas City.
Come on.
There you go.
Yeah.
Those are some legit things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, those are things we're looking forward to.
Good. It's great.
Awesome.
As we think through the Keystone family, what are some concrete ways we can pray for you, for your family, for the church, for these next steps? And Brent, I'd love to you hear your thought of just how are we going to lead our people well through this? We talk about size dynamics all the time. And what we never want to be is, hey, yeah, we have this map on the wall that some people walk by. These are places where one, people are sacrificing their lives to go to.
Yeah.
And two, lives are being changed. So what are just some concrete ways as we continue to partner with? This is just the next chapter. There's an ending maybe physically here, but the next chapter as we go forward, how can our people pray for you?
Yeah, I would say first would be, just for my family and I, and as we get ready to pack up next month and move. If you've moved before, especially long distance, the emotional, as we leave here and say goodbyes, that's emotional. And then as we show up on the scene in Bowling Green and have people there to meet, you're starting to make new connections. And so just leading the kids to adjust to change and all those things, getting settled in a new neighborhood, new house. So I think just the things that come with that, sleepless nights, worrying about getting point A to point B. And then I think also too, prayer for the launch team. We have a stud launch team, stellar, that it's I can't wait to get there and just we just release everybody and we all reach the campus and the community because they're fired up, they're ready to go. But I think the same thing. Some of them have kids, still looking for jobs, trying to find housing, and just all the things that come with that as they're being faithful to surrender their lives to go beyond mission and help plant a church. So I think that would probably be the biggest prayer. There's just a lot of emotional things that flare up as you get ready to pack up and move, no matter how long you've been somewhere. And we've built some great friendships and relationships and going to have to leave people behind. And so that can shake you a little bit.
Absolutely.
Part of being a church that's on the move and sends people.
Yeah. I'm going to say two things. Number one is just even sitting here and having this conversation, it's almost emotional. It's I'm not excited for Matt and Rachel. Matt and Rachel have been nothing but a blessing to our church, but also just a joy to be around. And we're so proud of you and we're cheering you on. And, this is something that Keystone might not realize. When Matt leaves here, it's not he's not here, but we, several of us on staff, me and you, Randy, and someone else will be on a provisional elder team for him. We will be meeting with him every other week via Zoom. We'll send elders every semester to go see them and to invest in them and always be available because they will inevitably do something that they're not sure exactly what they're supposed to do. And and it doesn't matter if it's lead pastor kind of stuff, kids ministry kind of stuff, admin kind of stuff. One of the reasons they're here is so they know who to call and be like, what should I do in this situation? What should we do? So we are not done with Matt and Rachel. We will continue to be invested in them. And actually, we're trying to make sure that we stay invested with all of our church plants. So that's incredible. But I think praying is exactly what he said. Like one of the things that we hopefully do well at Keystone is talk about the vision of church planting and show the possibility and show the need and show and give invitations and give vision trips and all of those things. We will never stop doing that, Lord willing. And that is true. All that vision is true. All that lostness is there. All the need on the campus is there. But the reality is that it's also a changing of life and people making very sacrificial decisions. And it looks very everyday of getting in, like, who's our doctor? Where do we go to the grocery store? I need just to go buy coffee from the grocery store and I'm not even sure where to go. I don't have someone to babysit my kids because I'm in a new context. So I think that the biggest prayer that Keystone can pray, and even hearing you, Matt, just recalls that and reminds me of that, is it's practical, that the Lord would sustain you guys and encourage you and protect you guys through the mix. But it's not just you. You're on the podcast.
Right.
But how many people so far are...
We got 30 adults going.
30 adults are moving right now. Wow. Not all those from Keystone, but 30 people across the nation right now are moving to Bowling Green, and it's hard and it's disorienting. Now, here's the good news. In that disorientingness, like, it also helps you rely on the Lord.
Right.
That's good, that they'll seek power from God and not just their normal day, but it's real, and that the Lord would sustain them. We need that.
So good. I think the final thought I would think is we've asked all our people this concept of deployment. We've asked people they recently were deployed to Asia in the context, Matt and your team being deployed to Bowling Green. Yeah. And we ask our people, you're listening today, we just got done with Easter and you're being deployed to your context right now. Yeah. And you can actually, there's more in common to what we're all trying to do every day than there is different in terms of what we're trying to help people know and follow Jesus. And the good thing from the Keystone side too is we're going to do it again.
Yep.
And just to jump on the, there's probably there's no week that goes by that we're not talking to one of our planners or part of their staff or something. And the connections will continue at just a different level, and it'll just be glorious to see it. So we will have you back on Keystone Conversations.
It'll be a church plan update next time.
That's good. Perfect.
Yeah, and it'll probably be on Zoom.
It'll be all right.
That's okay.
Unless you're in town.
We'll just figure out how to get up here.
Yeah.
I'll just come up during deer season at some point.
That's a hunting reference, and we'll just
Are you going to get a live? I'm sorry.
See, that was a tangential conversation that we're going to do. So, brother, Godspeed, God's blessing. Yeah. So happy for you.
Hey, thanks. Thanks for having me. Excited, grateful for our time here. Thank God daily for our time in Iowa. It's been a huge blessing, and we've loved our time at Keystone.
Great, Keystone family. Thanks so much for listening and being part of the conversation today. If you'd like to know more about Keystone in general, our plans, hear sermons, or listen to more of the conversations, please visit KeystoneLife.com. Till next time, keep the conversation going.